What's going on, Reject Nation? Greg Alba here.
And I'm John Humphrey over here.
So we just saw, we just saw American Assassin.
Woo! Best movie of the summer.
Easily a fall. Today's Patron of the Day shout-out gonna go out to Natalie Duran.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout, Natalie. We'll do it before we wrap up this video. So we saw Kingsman last night. That review will be up on the 18th once the embargo lifts. Watching Mother tomorrow. Man, American Assassin. The first like 30 to 40 minutes of this movie. Maybe the first half?
I'll give it like the first act.
The
like,
first act
was,
for sure.
Was pretty compelling.
And a pretty good amount of like the first half of Act 2, I would say. I would say like first half. Yeah, it starts to lose me a little bit.
It may have lost me a little sooner than it lost you. The movie gripped me right off the bat with that whole beach scene and everything.
Yeah, this movie's more violent than I expected it to be, actually. I mean, even though they had like a Red Band trailer, I was surprised by like, whoa, this is like really violent. This is like gritty, realistic violence right here. It's pretty disturbing, actually.
Yeah, they want you to feel the impact of all those things.
And Dylan O'Brien, I mean, if you guys I know a lot of people are excited for this film primarily because of Dylan O'Brien. You know, it's a big novel series that a lot of people are invested in, but it seems like a lot of people, what they're mainly gravitated towards is Dylan O'Brien. So if that's your main concern, I'm here to assure you, Dylan O'Brien rocks this role. He's not just the physical performance, but the emotional performance especially. Absolutely nails it, and it makes me wish this movie was better so it could be guaranteed a sequel, because this guy deserves a really good franchise. He's a damn good actor. I like him a lot as this Mitch character. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I wish this movie was better because I would like to see this character more in a better movie.
Yeah, I feel like the one thing that you, or at least I, could truly recommend about this movie is his performance.
Yeah.
You know, he is the heart and soul of this, what little heart and soul it actually has. You know? Yeah, he feels like a lived-in character, and he sells both the trauma and he sells, you know, the physical capability and, you know, the heightened instincts of an American assassin.
And he also brings the Dylan O'Brien personality and charm to the character. In case you guys haven't seen the trailer, I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything, it's the trailer. This guy his girlfriend gets killed on a beach trip they're having one day, and then it sends him down this spiraling path of grief where he gets set on revenge.
He learns to be a badass. He wants to kill every terrorist he can find.
Exactly. Then he eventually gets recruited by the CIA, and that was being put on a mission. That's the fascinating part of this movie, because the first 30 to 40 minutes of this film is a character focus of this Mitch guy, and I really was invested in that. I like seeing the emotional struggle he was having, and then he gets recruited by the CIA, and he goes under training with Michael Keaton's character, and Michael Keaton does a really good job in this too. I mean, you would expect nothing less than Michael Keaton. He does a really good job as well, and it's cool to see him more of like a badass type of character role, because he is badass.
Yeah, and in terms of things worth recommending, he is a solid #2.
Yeah, easily.
In this movie. I mean, he does bring a lot of personality, and you believe him too.
And
like
their chemistry together is really good too. I like the mentorship relationship that forms between the two of them.
Yeah, that's one of the few character relationships that actually feels real. And the movie, I know a couple other critics have said this, and the movie does shine most when they're on screen together. You know, when they're actually butting heads and exploring the lifestyle, you know, through them.
And I think the reason why the first 30 to 40 minutes is interesting is because the way the movie's setting it up, it has this really cool focus of this guy who's grieving over the loss of the woman he loved. And now he's becoming this like violent weapon. Then as he gets recruited to become an assassin, it looks like it's becoming a film that's going to be an exploration of, why is he doing this? Is this only for revenge? Is there more to the cause than this? What is his arc going to be? Is he going to be able to come to terms with his trauma of the horrible incident that happened that day on the beach? So it has a lot of great setting up and exploration. All the times they revisit his traumas I thought was really interesting.
They set up a lot of stakes and intrigue and emotional investment.
And I thought it was going to be this personal, contained story. It's called American Assassin. So I thought it was going to be a character study of a guy who becomes an assassin and his reasons as to why and what he becomes along the journey.
How it affects him, the choices he has to make.
Without a doubt, at least halfway through the movie, it just stops doing all of that.
It becomes a road to action CIA, you know, recon
It becomes
movie,
a really generic, rather dull spy thriller.
This is the most bored I've been in a movie theater in a little while. Anyway,
it stops focusing on all the things that made the movie interesting.
yeah, and then it just becomes the problem is that it swaps, you know, diving into an assassin character, and it just swaps that out for, you know, going on another crazy mission.
Just another mission to stop a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, and nothing lasts any amount of time in this movie, so it's like he just starts training, and then they're like, "Yep, your first mission, and here we go on to a plot that isn't as interesting as anything else that came in the setup."
Their time lapses are kind of confusing because sometimes they put a text at the bottom that says like 18 months later, so you know how much time has passed. And then other times, like he goes to training. And the reason the CIA recruits him is because they see how much he's learned on his own. You know, he's in MMA classes.
He's basically infiltrating terrorist cells, like, just at home on the night.
And that's fascinating. But then I thought about it later. I'm like, the movie never takes time to explain where this kid learned how to do all these things.
Yeah, we don't see him pick up like, most of the skills he actively uses in the film. Like, he goes to camp with Michael Keaton.
For like a month.
Who gives him a couple tips. And the rest of it is like, you went through this traumatic experience, picked up a bunch of desirable qualities that would make you a great assassin, and we don't get to explore or see any of that. We just get to see things work out for this guy because apparently his heightened instincts are just that good.
You see, I think this movie could have been better if they just stuck to the personal vibes it was having. The trailer reveals that Taylor Kitsch is in this movie, and Taylor Kitsch's character apparently is revealed, I think, in the second trailer. He's a former student of Michael Keaton's.
Yeah.
And now he's, you know, turned bad guy. I'm like, okay,
this could be Mitch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly. I thought the movie was going that path. Okay, you got two choices of generic movies. You could get one generic movie, which is what American Assassin gave us, which was this boring mission that I could care less about.
Basically just another Doomsday scenario.
Yeah. Like, then I thought, like, I would have preferred the other generic tale of how the film was focusing on Michael Keaton and Dylan O'Brien, and then Michael Keaton has this former student who is similar to Dylan O'Brien's guy. He kind of worries about training Dylan O'Brien because he sees that the last guy who had an attitude like Dylan O'Brien turned into a bad guy. And the movie just doesn't, like, take advantage of that. It's like, why?
Somehow nobody has to dwell upon what might have led to this.
Yeah.
Like, Michael Keaton doesn't have to dwell upon, well, did I build this thing? Am I accountable in some way? They set up this whole thing that could have been interesting, and then it's just, oh no, he's just a bad guy, and we just gotta stop that.
I could feel like it probably in the book it's based on, it's probably all there.
Yeah.
I feel like in the movie it's just not felt or as strongly present. It's like there's expositional dialogue to lead to that, but it's not felt, and that's the main gripe I have with that specific storyline.
This really felt like they were trying to swing broad. This feels like the Hollywood version of that book that probably missed a lot of the tone and spirit.
One thing I thought was kind of like what angered me about this film. There's a training scene where Michael Keaton's teaching his recruits how to cut a guy's throat, and he's saying, like, here's how they do it in the movies. That's only in the movies. Here's how you're supposed to do it.
That's only in the movies.
There's so much crap that happens during the mission part that's just so unrealistic. And I'm like, well, that's a movie.
You don't get to do that.
You've become the thing that this movie was saying it's not.
This movie has just one universal arc where it starts out gritty and unsettling and real, because, like, the beginning of the movie is attacks happen, and so, like, that's really jarring to watch, especially the way that they film it. And then over the course of the movie, it just gets less and less realistic, and, like, the rules of physics stop mattering.
The film's better when it was focusing solely on the emotional journey and the psychological journey of Dylan O'Brien and the relationship he was forming with Michael Keaton. And then halfway through, it's like, you got so many characters and all these things, and it's like, just go back to Dylan O'Brien already. He's the most interesting guy in the movie.
Well, yeah, the movie doesn't seem to want to spend much time on any of the characters to make any of them interesting. So yeah, after a while you're like, either flesh somebody out or make our leads more interesting or something. Like,
do something interesting. What was especially upsetting was the way this movie just wraps up by the end. Yeah. Because by the time it wraps up, we won't spoil anything because there's nothing to spoil. There's no arc for this guy.
There's nothing. There's no arc for anybody.
But I'm like, you had clear setups for a very specific arc that could have been felt even if we saw it coming, but there's nothing by the end.
The only arc I've found in this entire movie was, like, maybe towards the end with Michael Keaton being a little bit like, yeah, maybe I should take a break. That's about the most anybody changed over the course of this. It's weird, like, it calls the title into question because you have American Assassin. You have at least 3 key characters that all fit that description, and you walk out of the movie with no insight on any of them.
No. Yeah.
It's not. It's
If
not
you're
an
if you're gonna give
exploration
it that title, like make it an exploration tale of being an assassin, or just give us a generic CIA film.
Yeah, you should have just called this A Bunch of Assassins because that's a bit more accurate. Other than the fact that it's probably really awkward watching this movie if you're a Muslim.
It's weird to me because Dylan O'Brien's easily the best part of this whole film. And he was a fantastic performance. But in terms of like some writing and some action stuff, I was also like, why does this guy seem like he just gets hit a few times? This movie didn't take time to establish if he has any prior training before his girlfriend got killed. His girlfriend gets killed, and there's an 18-month period. I don't think he just started hitting the gym day one after he's been shot, and he needs time to recover and stuff.
He took a week off, and then he went, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Gotta get revenge.
Gotta get revenge. I'm just gonna work out every day.
And learn every inch of the Quran, apparently. Use like encyclopedic knowledge of Islam.
So it would bother me when I'm like, it doesn't seem like this guy's ever really in danger of being a rookie.
Yeah.
He's not treated at all like he's a rookie. When I'm like, the guy's a rookie, man.
And they keep making a point of going like, oh, you know, when the chips are down, he makes his own calls and he goes and does it. That just always kind of works out for him.
Because the movie's setting it up like he has potential to be more. But from what the movie gave us, I'm like, it looks like he trained for about a month and then got put on one of the biggest missions he could have been ever put on.
Yeah, and he does fine. You know,
he does fine.
Some people get in the way, but he does
For the most part, he does great, man. He does great.
And this movie is full of people doing that same thing. It's like this movie is about a team trying to get stuff done, you know, trying to do these covert counter-terror operations, and yet nobody ever seems like they want to work together or ever on the same page. Like, every major character is just making their own decisions and being like, well, if you don't agree with me, I don't care.
Yeah, no one's working together, I just feel like, especially by the finale, the film just gets too ambitious. It just tries to become bigger than what it needed to be. It was like, nah, you could have just made this a really contained story where you got Dylan O'Brien as main character, main supporting characters Michael Keaton, and the villain Taylor Kitsch. That's all you had to make it. That's it. It could have been that simple.
They missed out on the Bourne market. I feel like they were trying to target with this because they had all the pieces they needed. They could have, everything in this movie could have come together to make the movie you want, and it could have been. But yeah, it's just a rote CIA thriller by the end of it.
Yeah, if I had to give this a rating, I would say half awake. The guy next to me fell asleep. We went to an afternoon show and that guy started snoring.
I would give this movie 18 months. That's all the time it takes to learn all of Islam, and all the fighting,
and all the gun training,
and to become, you know, lazer accurate.
To become the best assassin in the world. And
it's like at least in Kingsman, he's got glasses to read up.
In that 18 months, that's not CIA training. That is all self-taught.
That is, hey man, you know, YouTube, you can learn a lot of stuff.
You can learn a lot on YouTube.
So what did you guys think of American Assassin?
Did you love it?
Comment below and let us know how dumb we are for not
liking this movie you really anticipated. Oh, and before this video is done, Natalie Duran, Patron of the Day shout out. Normally we do our shout outs on the reaction videos, but she wanted it for this one because she's a huge fan of Dylan O'Brien. She's from Ireland. She's awesome. She's really pretty. She's really friendly, really knowledgeable, works with a lot of elderly people. She has a way more important job than us, and she loves Dylan O'Brien. Greg, I love me some Dylan O'Brien. He's a good lad, that one.
Do you know any of his relatives?
Do you know any of his relatives, Natalie? Ireland. Let me do my warm-up accent here. Ireland.
Ireland.
Accent. Periwinkle Blue. That's what Brad Pitt says in Snatch. One day when we go to Ireland, we're going to visit you.
Together.
We're going to have a good time. We will not Colin Farrell your ass. Based off that one video he released with that black girl. And I keep complaining about why YouTube ads don't play on our videos anymore.
Yeah, you're doing wonders.
Then I make comments like this.
Really
screws us over. You stay friendly. You stay pretty. Being pretty, I've said this to you before, is the most important asset that you could ever have.
It's how you look, not how you feel.
It's never about what you think and what you feel, especially as an Irish woman in Ireland. If anyone knows Irish culture, it's us. California natives.
Definitely.
And from my understanding, Conor McGregor would only date you if you are beautiful, wouldn't care who you are on the inside. So keep those looks up. Your personality probably fourth important on the list.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need one.
Yeah,
it just helps.
looks,
you know, it's like extra credit.
Body, back of the body, then your personality.
Anterior, posterior.
Yeah. No, we're just kidding, Natalie. Thanks for being part of our Patreon, and thanks for following our channel.
Yeah.
You really
Much
are a sweet girl. We
appreciated.
love talking with you. Well, I love talking. We haven't talked with her, but I love talking to you. I'm sorry that your Irish MMA fighter got destroyed by our American boxer.
That's right, who we were all totally rooting for.
Yeah, yeah, everyone was in America was totally on
Everybody
Mayweather's side.
agreed. Nobody couldn't.
Nobody rooted for McGregor, right? Did you hear the people at the fight? Everyone was cheering
Everyone
for
was
Mayweather.
like, yeah, this is what we expected to happen. There was no tension.
All right, well, you guys can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Please click that notification bell. Follow Dat John Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram. And go check out our Patreon. Become a Patronaject today. A lot of great stuff over there, my friends.